gosh, midway through April. All right, here we are. We are off. And let me just make sure that I got, you guys can hear me. Yep. All right. Okay. Let's, you know what? I'm just going to start off with a bunch of stocks coming on with earnings tomorrow. First one up is Johnny. We got a few big names, lots of big names coming out tomorrow. And then there's also some community banks that, hey, might as well take a look at, see what the market has in store for these poor beleaguered community stocks, community bank stocks, right? Okay. All right. Johnny John, 30 days. So we've got this little bit of a consolidation here. This is a big gap. I'm not aware of anything incredibly newsworthy for Johnny John. Oh, let's see. We got a couple comments. Let me see. Take a look at this image. Oh, okay. All right, Don. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's what it just says join right at the top. Perfect. Thank you, Don. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. So there's this gap. And what has me wondering on this 30-day. Okay. So, and for everybody watching, what the tools I use are volume profile. So that's these blue histogram looking, this blue histogram looking study on the right-hand side that I have set up on the right-hand side of my chart. That charts how much volume over the time frame that we're looking at occurred at each price, right? So rather down here, I've got volume spread out across time. Okay. That's the typical way of looking at it. This is volume across price. So I can see if volume is building areas where weak and low volume, and that indicates, whether or not if there's a bias in the bid or a bias in the offer or on the sell side, right, to help indicate some direction over time frame, right, over a certain time frame. All right. And then this is an opportunity zone scanner, which is based off of this histogram. It's called a volume profile. And this opportunity zone scanner is based on the numbers of volume profile. That's the basics. Okay, so Johnson & Johnson over the last 30 days. You see this little last few days is kind of done a little bit of consolidating. You got this big gap. Question in my mind, we'll zoom in and see if, so this 30-day doesn't show this 10-day doesn't show any bias. Let's just keep zooming in time and see if there's anything. Nothing here. Let's go out and see what that 30-day looks like in context. So over the last 90 days, this is, it did trade higher earlier on in the period. But, my question on this one is here, let's keep zooming out. So here's what I'm curious about. I think below 161, like if Johnny John gets below 161, then it's going to, then it could easily make a run down here to 147. So, I'm going to make this note here. Johnny John below 161. So this 46 looks like a short. Okay, and keep in mind, earnings are coming out tomorrow, so these are pretty good. These are levels that you want to keep track of. So it is right at this, and here's what I like. It's at the point of control, right? And this is over the last 180 days. So this is a pretty solid point of control. And then you've got this level down here it's got this value area. See this white line here, what looks like a white line here and here. 80% of the trading volume over the last 180 days has occurred between these two prices, right? I'm sorry, I said 80%. It's 68%, roughly 2/3. This, if it drops below this 161, it could hustle on down to 152, possibly make a move lower. So, okay, so Johnny John, I'd say that's a key level to look for, maybe with a price target of 152, even 147 if you want to be aggressive, right? So because these levels, that helps, this opportunity zone kind of scales this whole price range and says this 147 is a very realistic move based on the last 180 days. All right, great. All right, that's a good one to start off with. All right, let's see. So Johnny John, Bank of America, big bank. Let's see it. Let's see what this over the last 30 days. All right, so what you have way up here is very low volume. Up here around the 34 level, 32. That it was very low trading volume at those prices. So that tells me, low conviction, right? Now it's picked up a lot of trading volume down here as it's kind of ground around, based on what's been happening over the last few weeks in banks, right? Maybe because the big banks aren't necessarily, they didn't suffer from deposit flight, but now they've got all these deposits they have to reinvest. How do they reinvest it at a profit? That's the that's the trick, right? And if they don't pay up on those deposits, then they're going to lose them anyway, right? So that's the real trouble here. Gosh, here's a value. The upper end of the value area is at 29.39. Then you got 27 as the lower range. This whole thing is kind of building, to something lower. Let's look back. Actually, let's zoom in real quick. Let's see if we see any bias. Just a little small range consolidation up here on the 10-day. Kind of rejection. It's at this opportunity level, so there could be some motivation. I mean, the nice thing is that we got earnings tomorrow to kind of kick this thing into a different range. So, all right, so nothing real short term. Let's look longer term. See this big gap down over the next 90 days. So let's do this. I would say, no, I like this. Point of control is at 28. This lower area, this whole thing looks like it's skewed to the downside. You've got building volume as prices go down. That to me is a very bearish pattern. I'll check your comment in just a second here, Bill. Let me finish with Bank of America. The point of control usually isn't a great place because that's just kind of like a consensus, right? That's kind of, that's where there's an equal amount of buying and selling. But you get down here below 26.40. 26.40, you've got a $5 run or something like that down to 21 or so. So I'm going with that. I like it. Bank of America below 26.42. Oh, and I was going to tell you what it's a Bank of America. The earnings. So there could be a surprise here because consensus is for 79, and the last time it came in at 80 cents. And so, they're not expecting a whole lot of change. But certainly below 79 could send this thing quite a bit lower, but there's a lot of other factors at play too. So, that's what the volume profile shows you, this building and then a big gap. So anyway, that's I like Bank of America. Okay, what else? Let's see. What do you say here, Bill? Let's see. Let me check this. Got some government contracts yet went lower. Can you take a look? Oh, okay. Boeing. Let's see. All right. Let's look at Boeing. All right. Here's Bill's request. Okay. Let's zoom in and let's start out with the third. So while we're here at the 90-day, you see this kind of looks bullish to me, right? There may have been, I'm not too sure, I don't know the details of the agreement, and that's why, there could be, this could have been, something. Ooh, let's look at that. We'll look when we look at the short term. We might be able to see how this trading occurred right here. What happened with this gap down. It could be just short term, kind of technical, or hedge fund, somebody changing positions in the stock, right? But this generally looks bullish to me. Right, you got this gap up here to 232 based on the 90-day. All right, so that's. And let me put Boeing down here. I can just make a note of this. Let's go. Let's zoom in. 30-day. It hit some solid bid down here, Bill. It hit a solid bid. You had this. You've got declining volume right down through here. So this is nice. This is setting up for a move up to 214, 212. Let's keep those numbers in mind, right? The top end of the range. Let's keep those numbers in mind. Let's just zoom in. So what, 210 to 214. Oh, yeah. Get this, it's too short of a range. Let's see how this trading, that was on almost no volume. That gap down was on almost no volume. And then boom, lots of buyers coming in right here, Bill. Yeah, this is just kind of, all saying the same, kind of pointing to the same thing. Yeah, you see this, you see all this volume down here really built up. That's what formed most of this. That's what formed all of this base right here. So Let's go at 1 year if it's telling us any different. So we are out of this upper end of the range. People are exploring, even with this big sell-off, we bottomed on the upper end of this opportunity zone, right? And that's not bearish. That means it's on to something new. It's into a new orbit. And there was this, how do we attribute this gap down? I wouldn't worry about it, right? And it's forgotten about this point of control for the time being, or it kind of looks like it. So, unless there's a massive market sell-off, broad market sell-off, Boeing looks pretty good right here, Bill. So let me put some numbers to this. Let's see what gives us the most bang here. Here I'm going to go 90-day. Boeing looks bid. I like it here. I like it here. I like it here. And with a target of 231. Right up here. Right. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Thank you for that, Bill. All right. Hope that was helpful. If you got anything to add about it, that's great. What was the last thing? We looked at Bank of America. We got through 2 stocks. Netflix. All right. Netflix. Not a whole lot of bias there on the 90-day, 30-day. So when I see trading volume, evenly distributed, and this is a high price stock, right? Maybe not a whole lot of fun to trade. It could ease. There was as much trading at 299 or 297 as it is basically 339, right? Not a whole lot of conviction. The markets are trying to figure this stock out. And what Netflix is, so there was we're expecting a disappointment. They came in at 353 last on the earnings, and now it's at 280. Consensus is for 281 tomorrow. A little bit of support building right here on the 30-day, but not a whole lot of conviction. I would say if it holds, let's see. Let me just take a quick look. All right. Okay. Got a little base building here. Let's just look at this. So this is very near. Let's look longer term. Let's look 1 year. Ooh, this whole thing kind of looks 2 year. Oh, it's just see this. It got it. So this is over the last 2 years, right? Everybody was streaming and in the end of COVID, and it's all Netflix got a lot of competition. A lot of competition came in the market over the last 2 years for streaming services, right? For Netflix. This longer term, it's the market does not like this stock. I would, there's too much conflicting information here. I don't know that there's a longer term. There could be very, very long term. It's bearish, and it's hard to say. So too much conflicting information. All right, I'll move on to the next one. Give me just a second here. Okay. All right. And you guys, I'll be sending around a replay, an email with a replay of this if you want it. If you guys aren't on my emails, check your inbox or spam or whatever, and make sure you're getting my emails, part of the Prosperity Pub. Hopefully you guys are all on that. Okay, let's move on here. And of course, if you guys have any other names, drop them in. What do we got here? Lockheed Martin. Taking a look at another defense name here. All right, so this is the last 30 days. Building. I don't think we need to look much further. Yeah, we do. But I would say if it drops below 485, I know another expensive one, but hey, we're just looking at what's coming out, right? 485 down to 473, possibly lower. It's rejecting. Lockheed Martin looks definitely bearish. And the earnings on this, so it was consensus of 608, and the last was 644. So they're expecting a decline anyway. I would say below, gosh, this looks, where's the, all right, if you want to be aggressive on this, below 4, let it get into this upper end of the opportunity zone, right, below 484. If you're playing it a little bit more conservative, I would wait to this upper range of the value area, which is 481 conservative. Okay. All right. That's there we go. That's Lockheed Martin. This looks really good, right? I love the way this is setting up. And you can wait for a pretty decent move, nice trigger point. And I would say all the way down, and then I'd put a target, probably 460, let's see, 465 target. 465 target. Okay. All right. Great. Now, moving on. Oh, did I hear a comment? Let's see. No, Bill, you bet. Let's see. Thank you. I got a monthly 205 call. Okay. So, Bill, this is on Boeing, on BA, what Bill asked about earlier. He owns the 205 call. Also, it seems a bit low for the sector. Okay. Well, let's take a look at MRO as well. All right. We'll look at that right now. Marathon. This is generally bearish. I see this 30-day here. Right? It's kind of rejecting this bid. You'd really need something to move it above this 26 level to explore the upper range here, which it has not in the last 30 days. This looks bearish. Building and then a gap. And let me get something to drink here. Hard to tell much out of this one. Okay, let's just zoom out. Let's go out in time. 90-day. Bill, I don't see a whole lot bullish building up here for it. Yeah, it's hard to get much of a read, but I don't see much of a bullish pattern building up on that one. All right, last one was Lockheed Martin. Let's take a look at Goldman Sachs. We're about to get into some of these banks here. No, we got to wait. We got a lot of names. We'll take a half hour on this, but we're going to get through as many names as we can. Goldman Sachs. So tomorrow they came in last at 1076. Consensus is for 814. I wonder. All those deposits could be a curse for the big banks. So, let's. I wonder how the market's going to react. How the market's pricing. How the market is anticipating that. Could be a curse. All right. Let's go down to 30 days. Let's see. Let's focus it. All right. This looks bearish, right? And what was the banking stuff? When did that start to happen? That's been about a month, right? So this trading volume reflects all the new news, right? Let's go. This makes me think below 332. Let's see, 5-day. Yeah, not much out of that one here. All right, so but there is something setting up. All right, so here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing, below 333 looks bearish, down to 290, all the way down to 305 or possibly 298. So, Yeah, 10-day looks bearish. That's notes I had. So below 332, 332 to call it 300. All right, so that's a 10% move, relatively short term. I wonder how this looks longer term. Let's take a look. Let's just zoom out. That's just very range bound stock. 300 is easily within the range, right? You've got this over the last 1 year. The value area, the bottom area of the value area is 295. So from the big picture perspective, it's a range bound. And on the shorter term perspective, it's looking, see this gap and then building. I like it. Goldman Sachs. All right, that's looks bearish. Hope you guys are taking some good notes here. These all look pretty good. Okay, BK, Bank of New York Mellon. This is kind of a building of. So Bank of New York Mellon. Not that I really dive into all the bank's business models, and they've certainly evolved a lot. But Bank of New York Mellon is a huge custodian, right? They have a very stable business model, right? They're not dependent on deposits. I mean, to call them a bank, they're not a bank at all in the traditional sense. They're a custodian, right? So they're more of a custodian like Schwab. And Bank of New York, what was it? So they came in at 86 cents last, and their consensus is 109, right? So we're expecting an earnings increase out of them. The markets are anyway. So this looks pretty good. I like it. I like it. So this 90-day, and the question is, maybe there's a, let's just keep looking at it. Let's keep poking around here. I don't want to say too much. All right. So this was kind of a move. Wonder if this is bottoming out down here at around 42.5. 5-day little I'm not going to say nothing. There is. All right. So we've got this little, it could make more of a move throughout the day, a couple bucks, possibly more, but let's go back out to the 90-day on this one. That was that bid that I saw. Let's do longer term and 1 year. Okay, so it's right around its point of control. Here's what I would say. Let's go back to this 90-day. If after earnings it holds 41.92, so if it holds 41.92, and this is a nice low price stock, so you should be able to trade it pretty well. I would, if it holds 41.92, I'd buy it, go long it, whatever, and potential target up to $50. Target price 50. Okay. Yeah. So we're looking up 49.74, this value area, right? So if it holds this, it could make a pretty strong move upwards up to 49 or so. Oh man. Okay, man, this is lots of good stuff. Let's look at a couple of UCBI. Just got a couple more minutes here. Let's look at these smaller banks. See if we see anything. This whole thing's building down to a gap to 22. And UCBI, last it came in at 50, and the consensus earnings are still at 68. So we're expecting an improvement. This 30-day, this is interesting. There was a lot of trading right here. That's kind of interesting. That's interesting. I don't know. Let's see. Let me just keep zooming in. I'm not. Do we have a base building in here? No, I don't know. Okay, give me a second. I'm just going to fish around until I see something here. not constructive. What do we got? 26 to 24. No, I'm going to pass on this one. There's nothing to. There's no sense of forcing the pass. Let's look at Fulton Financial. This has just generally been building lower, grinding lower. It's a cheap stock. There might be something you can do. 10-day and 5-day, no real bias. 90-day, we're down into a new. I would. What's the big? Let's look at 1 year. What's the? Now I'd pass on this. It's down towards this. It's kind of it could be initiating, searching for a new low, but you can't really. There's not enough information to tell you whether or not whether it's found a nice bottom or not. PFBC. That's PFBC. Ooh, boy, that don't look good. That's 1 year. Let's go zoom in on 30 days. The market stat, I would, I think I can't give you too much of a target on this, but PFBC kind of looks, nobody seems to be happy with it, right? And they haven't been happy with it for a while. And I say that on this 1 year. Sorry. What was it? I'm sorry. Where did I see that? Was that on the 2 year, the 1 year? Oh yeah. See, this is boom. And then, I'm sorry. Where did give me just a second here. Yeah. It's just program trading. See these big spikes, right? Those are usually like an algorithm, coming in. Now it's below. I say it's a general short and then take out whatever you're happy with. Okay. So we got that. And then that was Preferred Bank, PFBC. They are, man, their last was 174. Their consensus is expected at 270, 260. Seems like a pretty solid. I just wonder if that's just stale consensus, although I can't believe they didn't really look hard at. Let's look at a broker here, that the street hasn't updated their assumptions on this. Interactive Brokers. All right, we'll look at this one broker. So brokerages are going to be very different than banks. Somebody asked me the other day if Charles Schwab is basically a bank. It's a custodian. That's like Bank of New York Mellon. Interactive Brokers. And it is Interactive Brokers is at $1.40 consensus, came in at 82 cents. So looking for a pretty significant jump in earnings. I don't see anything bullish here. I don't see anything bullish or bearish. No. All right. That's what I got for you today, guys. Yeah, there's nothing worth playing here on Interactive Brokers. So what do we got here? We got JNJ looks like a short below 161. Bank of America looks like a short below 2642. What was another one? Lockheed LMT. Yeah, right. That's Lockheed Martin, right? I just want to make sure. Yeah, Lockheed Martin. Bearish below 484. Goldman Sachs. Bearish below 333 all the way down to 300. I'd say BK, right? That was Bank of New York Mellon. That looks like a buy, right? From 41.92. If it holds 41.92, buy it up to got a target price of 50 on that one. And Boeing, Bill's request. I think it looks. I like it here with Boeing. You might something go long right now with a target of 231. All right, that's it for today, guys. Oh, and also we looked at PFBC. That looks like a PFBC. That looks like short. All right, great session, guys. Lots going on. We got these earnings, man. Makes it nice and fun and exciting. Okay, so that's it for the day, guys. And we'll see you on the next one of these, man. Glad to see a lot of these familiar faces. Sorry I've been out of pocket the last couple of weeks, but here we are again. All right, we'll talk to you. Bye.